What we're looking at here is a fence repair I did in my backyard, and just kind of wanted to give you some ideas. I'm trying out some different things and I'm going to kind of track what works and what doesn't work. And again, this is kind of just one of those experiments that might or might not produce very much information. But I had a couple of posts. You can see here I have a brace holding up a 4x4. This brace has probably been here for about 2 years. Yes, sad but true. I haven't fixed the post in quite some time. We just removed a bunch of plants here, and so now is the ideal time to fix the fence post. And you can see right here that this one's leaning a lot. This one here was probably worse than this one before I put the brace on it. So let's go ahead and get started here. This is sighting down the wall, and some of these pictures might be a little blurry, but you can see that it's not very straight. And here is the post. The problem with this, believe it or not, you'll see in the video, is that the concrete was extremely brittle, I guess would be the right word. And the only thing I could think of is that they used, a long time ago, they used to sell a post hole mix, and I remember, and feel free to comment on it if you remember it, but you used to just add water to it. You didn't have to mix it up, and I never did that. This stuff was just crap. It didn't have, hardly had any cement in it. And this is probably the example of that right here. Really crumbled apart there. It was just unbelievable how horrible it was. I mean, I was just taking my hammer and just breaking off sections of it. It had a little pry bar busting it off. Now the fence post, you can see, is definitely damaged, and trying to look here, see if I can get some. You can see here where it's basically some of it's rotted away, some of it's actually pushing away the foundation. You see the little gap here, and this isn't uncommon. So if you could just imagine, before I had my brace on here, the post leaning this way, that's probably where this gap would have came from. The whole footing and everything was leaning, and at one time. Here's a nice crack, and we're going to see quite a few of these throughout here. This was just nothing to break this up, and this allowed plenty of water to get in here, by the way. Just amazing how much water could get into a crack. And these cracks right here, I found quite a few of these cracks that were at least 1/4 of an inch throughout the demolition process. Again, so after I removed the section here, it freed this post up to slide to the right. So now we even have a bigger gap. And this isn't going to be uncommon. You could actually, if you're reusing these concrete footings, you might have a problem with a leaning post, and that's because the footing and the post was leaning together. There it is before it is removed. And keep in mind, I have the wall braced, or the fence braced up. It is a couple of braces here, and I even put one across the top. Last thing you want to do is have this thing fall apart on you. Put as many braces on it as you think you need. Put braces on the bottom if you need to. And there's the top brace without the post. The top 2x4s were damaged. They were cracked a lot. You'll see I actually put a board on the top of it when I was done. And I might be able to show you the picture here. I'm pretty sure I took it, of the varmint that was bothering me on the other side. Neighbors have a pit bull, and we tried everything to keep them away. About the worst damage the dog did was caved in my footing when I was pouring the concrete, put a little dirt in there. That was about it. Wait a minute, he bit me once too, but I had a glove on. No problem. I lived to tell the story. So there's the first fence post. No concrete has been poured, and it is time to work on the next one. And I'm going to go ahead and just go through. I don't want this to be a 4-hour video. I'm only going to talk a little bit, but I'm going to go through the pictures a little faster here. And a little bit of damage to this one here. Again, you can see how bad the footing is. More damage. And this was about the biggest spot here where it had the damage on it. This is actually where I took my claws and my hammer and dug it out just to see how bad it was. Fence is getting a little straighter. I did not pour the concrete. I wanted to straighten the fence out, and I wasn't. You can actually use a string to straighten these out. I just wanted to sight down it, so I pushed this one over. I wanted to push this over as far as I could, so that I could see how straight it was. And so I pushed it over and sighted it. I probably had to do this about 3 or 4 times before I could get it straight. And this is a new experiment I'm going to try. I just put some 1x4 on here, screwed it on to the damage, and what this is going to do is allow me to pull the post out. If it does rot in the future, it's kind of an experiment I'm doing, I will, these boards will be kind of like spacer boards. The footing will be a little bit bigger. I'll be able to reuse the footing, pull the post out, put a new post in, and if so, I can put some more shims in, or I can fill it up with some type of a concrete mixture. So this is my plan for this one here. Here's my cardboard trick. You've probably seen that already. That was the previous video that I made. And again, this is just kind of, I took the cardboard and I formed it into a curve, not a square. Just kind of trying to give you another idea of what you can do here. There's the fence. That's what it's after it has been poured. I did have to put a brace on the bottom of this. I actually had to push the fence over a little bit, so required a brace on the bottom. Another view, that's it. And I believe that is, we're almost done with the video. That's the fence straightened. Here's the 1x I put on top. I could not nail into the top of the post here. It was, there it is, fairly straight, straight enough for me anyway. And I used some A35s on the bottom here. This was a little soft. Now you can always add a 1x4 to this, or another 2x4 if you want. Screw it in and then fasten it to the post. And here's the board I was talking about on the top. This was split really bad, probably because the fence was leaning and wasn't repaired in time. But I just simply put a few screws from the 1x into the top, or the 2x4 here, almost said top plate, and then drove some 16 nails into the top there. And that really sturdied up the fence. And you can always use something like this too to brace up your fence. I've had leaning fence posts before where I've nailed boards like this across and even on the front here, and it's braced the fence up quite nicely. And this is it for the video. We are about to go back to the first picture, and there it is. So anyway, that's it. If you like these videos, feel free to hit the thumbs up button.